I wanted to start with a concept that I unexpectedly came up with. So last week, Nike and the NBA announced the release of the what they're calling the Earned uniforms, which are jerseys specifically for the 16 teams that qualified for the 2018 playoffs last season. That includes some really good ones. That even includes the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are one of the worst teams this season. But they get to wear that. The Heat have a glorious pink jersey that I can't wait to try and purchase someday. Running the Sports Goofs Twitter account, it was reported by Bleacher Report, and I put a reply saying that the 14 teams that didn't make the playoffs, and call it the unearned line, or call them the tank tops. And a lot of people really like that pun. So Andrew and Charles and we're like, okay, why don't we actually make them?
His idea was initially the 14 teams that didn't make it, but because of time constraints and just general stuff, he decided to whittle it down to the lowest 3 that he did jersey designs for.
Right. Here we go. That's the first one, Andrew. All right, Charles, I'm sending to you right now. Okay. So
Wait, who?
What?
Who's the sponsor?
Their sponsor is ShareCare. I don't know what it is.
Oh, so you didn't change that?
No. I left the sponsors as is because the sponsors need to feel shame for those teams as well. Okay, Charles, did you get it?
Yeah, I just got in, and I have to appreciate the fact that you gave me the host a Heimlich right when my call dropped for some reason. So if that was planned timing or serendipity, I think that was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to make the fun assumption that this is the Atlanta Hawks, just based off my bad eyesight. And forgive me, everybody, for coming in a little bit late here, but Francisco is basically going to be commissioned by the NBA or some knockoff league to make it, because I'm cracking up over here from that design, the instructions. And you should have a scene where, if you can add a little bit, just have them toss away things that are valuable to prevent you from choking, such as star players like Al Horford and, Dennis Schroeder and everybody else, Jeff Teague, that has helped contribute to make you relevant. So I approve.
Since the NBA and Nike always do these, like, oh, we put this little design to signify the spirit of whatever, Okay, so number 28 I put because of the infamous 28 to 3.
Oh no, that's terrible.
So why not signify the 28 points that the Atlanta Falcons had during the Super Bowl against the Patriots and couldn't move up from that number as they choked away.
That is terrible.
A surefire win.
It's terrible.
The Hosa, it's Marion Hosa because of the fact that Atlanta has had 2 NHL franchises fail in their city, which is part of the reason why Atlanta is considered one of the worst sports town in North American pro sports. So Marion Hosa, one of the great players that was on that 2007 Southeast Division Championship team for the Atlanta Thrashers, that had lots of talent, and they wouldn't pay them, so they had to break up the team. So Marion Hosa, that's the player that I put there. I decided to have instructions for the Heimlich maneuver because it's Atlanta pro sports.
And kudos.
Except for the Atlanta FC, which just won the MLS championship. But
kudos for putting the Pac-Man logo where the person's head is.
I was like, man, what could I do that signifies Atlanta? Choking. But what's choking? Like, do I just do something about the Falcons? Oh, why not the Hamlet maneuver so that when the players see that they're choking, they at least know what to do.
And I just appreciate that it kind of hits to both of the sports that they try to tell everybody is important there, basketball and football. Because you look at the angle, I think of it as the Atlanta Hawks angle, and then I'm thinking, okay, maybe it could be the Falcons angle. And then now when you get the whole thing going to the 28-3, going into the sports aspect, the choking, I'm like, it's satire at its finest.
Okay, and so that's so now let me get you Doug's actual review for this. Okay. Just when the Hawks look like they take a step forward a couple of years back, they take 2 steps back. Trading away Doncic for Trae Young was absolutely ridiculous. Trae Young had a horrible end to his career at Oklahoma, and that inefficiency has carried over into his pro career so far. It's way too early to close the book on Trae, but he lost all steam he had built last year in college by the end of the season. Meanwhile, Doncic was widely talked about for years, a teenager with such a refined game playing in a league with grown men. It was a toss-up until the draft day as to who should be the first overall pick, DeAndre Ayton or Luka Doncic. The Hawks screwed themselves out of a potential superstar. So the Heimlich jersey is a perfect fit, and Hosa is a nice touch. I know you couldn't resist. All right, so that's the first one.
Oh boy!
I believe that one's the best one out of all of them, but it's just because it's
so
so far out of it. Well, it's because they were the number 3 pick, and they traded away to the Dallas Mavericks because Doncic is now hitting it up for the Mavs. So this one is the ref, as I call it, for the Sacramento Kings.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna have to explain this one for you guys. Okay. So the 2002 Western Conference Finals between the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers was probably one of the most controversial series of all time. I decided that because of this, I would let Kings fans know, relive that pain. Because if they're going to be tanking all this time, and it's perfect because Vlade Divac is their GM, so he gets to relive the pain as well. So it's called The Ref. It's based on the referee uniforms during that series. It's the same colors. It's the Sacramento Kings SAC logo or script in place of the NBA logo. It's Delaney, which was one of the refs in that infamous Game 6 where it seemed like they were just handing the Lakers free throws. And that's it. So what do you guys think?
I mean,
I like it.
I like it too. I mean, I think I'd appreciate it more if I was more of an NBA fan. But it is still funny now that I know the backstory to it a bit.
I mean, I like it just because the Sacramento Kings have just been rotting in the pits of hell for such a long time. And you have mentioned it earlier from Doug by proxy of, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I think that's a perfect way to describe them. And that's the thing when you find a lot about Kings fans or Kings management. They're always focusing too much on the glory days, and you're talking about a franchise that has had every step away of an opportunity to at least be in contention in the playoffs, at least get through the playoffs, but bad management, signing old players I don't know if Vlad, it's to be determined if he's even going to take them to where they got to go, but, is that the vision that you want for a city and an organization that has just been muck in mediocrity for such a long time? And it's simple. I like the ref design. It's a big, punch in the gut for them. And for a minute, I thought it was the Orlando Magic because it looked like they're.
That's what I thought.
They're pinstripes.
And then I saw the SAC. I'm like, oh yeah, I know where we're going with this. So, I got a good chuckle out of it because ironically, the Kings are in contention this year to at least make the playoffs, and a lot of people are shocked. So maybe this is the kick in the butt that they needed.
All right.
Bye, Francisco.
All right, so this is Doug's review. That's quite a painful reminder for the Kings, as it's anyone's guess as to when they will ever make it that far again. It's one thing to lose through your own shortcomings. It's another to lose due to the powers you cannot control. A shameful moment for the league, a painful reminder for both the Kings and the NBA. So that's the Sacramento Kings, who had the number 2 pick. And finally, we're gonna end. Maybe this one is the best one. You know, maybe it really is the best one.
Drum roll.
There it is, the Greta. It's for the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, you took my suggestion.
I told you.
Thank you.
So yeah, Andrew did have some hand in this design.
Thank you so much. I knew it would come out.
He's
well.
really happy with this one. So.
It makes no sense unless you know the backstory to it.
Go ahead and give it to him.
This was for was this the Suns, right?
Yeah, the Phoenix Suns.
This woman named Greta Rogers, just absolutely eviscerated.
I'm sorry to laugh in between. Go ahead.
Just absolutely eviscerated the owner of the Suns, I think it was the mayor of Glendale. Is that where they are?
Phoenix.
The mayor of Phoenix. She just eviscerated them. I can't remember what she said exactly, but
she said there was one line that she said the owner of the Suns is so tight that he squeaks when he walks.
In reference to the fact that he's so tight on money, a real penny pincher, that her basic point, the Suns are trying to get a brand new stadium, or at least a renovation to it. Arena, whatever you want to call it. And her point is the owner has put zero effort into making the Suns even a semblance of a contending team. He's just been making as much of a profit as possible by cutting costs as much as possible and just getting all of the profit. Her point is, why should we fund this renovation if you're just going to keep treating us like crap and holding the city hostage, basically, because per usual the owner said, if you don't give us a renovation, we're going to leave. So her point is basically, leave. You're doing nothing for us, and just get out of here. Of course, after that, he said that they're not leaving, so obviously she had a bit of an impact, but thank you for taking my suggestion. I knew it would just be perfect for this.
Go ahead, Charles.
I feel like this woman also should speak to your sensibility, Francisco, as a Miami Marlins fan, to be... You know, how many times somebody want to tell an owner, stop being so tight budgeted, make excuses, and have the city or the state do things for you, or the county do things for you, and actually show that you want to be here. I love the design. Not only does it make it, you know, her herself looks like Mr. Rogers' sister, but, you know, now we're going to have the Phoenix Suns over there because they're going to love their neighbor. They're going to love their neighbor because that team, that organization, they have, like, no backbone. They've only won like 6 games this year, and ironically, you're gonna fall on your laurels as the owner who's like, oh, we spent money because we paid Devin Booker all this cash, and we drafted DeAndre Ayton, and you can't even be competitive in a match. And all you need is just like a little. All you gotta do is in that 90, just put a little Phoenix Sun ball, right there, and poof.
Actually, if you notice, the buttons on the jersey are Phoenix Suns logos.
Oh, that's tasty. Then you know what you should do is just put like Charles Barkley's face. He's the only guy who's kind of like somewhat defending them, somewhat commenting on them. To quote him, they're just terrible, man.
Terrible.
Terrible.
You got to pronounce it right. It's terrible.
Terrible. I'm not as gifted as him in the art of English and articulation, but I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, the design is basically what she wore to that city meeting. Red and black. It works for the Suns. The Suns, red and black, gold. PayPal's logo is on there because they need to feel shame as well for sponsoring the Phoenix Suns. Nike as well for providing equipment to the Phoenix Suns. The NBA for having the Phoenix Suns as a franchise, and then of course the Suns themselves with all those logos.
I just realized the irony of having this team be sponsored by PayPal.
And yet they can't pay for their own arena.
That is delicious irony right there.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Mr. Solar has to say.
It's actually funny that you kind of said, Charles said about the sensibilities as a Marlins fans, because this is Doug's review. I wish the Marlins had a Greta when the ballpark deal got approved. She's amazing and perfectly made her point. I could go off on a whole different tangent on subsidies, but I won't. It's a broken system. This jersey is A++. One suggestion. We make the players wear wigs as well. The ultimate shame. Yeah. So those are the tank tops, as I call them. As far as the whole thing with Phoenix, I kind of just want to comment on it. They're grandstanding with like, oh, we're gonna move to Seattle. Honestly, if I was Seattle, because they're renovating the Key Arena to accommodate the new NHL team, and likely the NBA will follow afterwards. If I was Seattle, I would not even offer a lease to the Suns if they're making that threat, because that's how they lost their team. I would think if they had any sort of like sympathy for Phoenix, they would just say, no, you guys, you're not coming to Seattle with your team that you're basically taking away from Phoenix, because that's how we lost our team. You can just stay there. We'll wait for the expansion of the NBA. That's it. So that's what I think Seattle should do if they want to have some sort of like solidarity with Phoenix in some sense.